This one on the left, VP6TC, I remember looking for, and this is some of the techniques that you're going to use to find contacts to make. VP6TC, his name is Tom Christian, he lives on Pitcairn Island. And so I looked up on the Pitcairn Islands website and looked for ham radio operators and found out that he carries on a monthly or bi-monthly schedule with relief agencies here in the U.S. for supplies, for humanitarian supplies into the islands down there. And he said right on his on the schedule, he says that after we finish with the business at hand, I will take a few calls for it. And so he had a schedule, date, time like that, and so I was ready, waiting, antennas all pointed in the right direction, everything tuned up, and I made the contact. Tom Christian is the great-great-great-grandson of Fletcher Christian, who led the mutiny on the Bounty. That's the reason why I pointed out that way.
Half the names, they're all Christians.
They are. When you talk to the Pitcairn Islands, they're all Christians. Why? Well, I guess for obvious reasons. Yes.
I just want to say his wife or his daughter or somebody got talked to over there also.
Yeah, it happens. You get some good ones. Canary Islands are some easy ones to get for it. Uganda is a little tougher. It's not very often that you'll hear Uganda on the air. Although it does happen. Most of the time it's somebody that's a foreigner that is working in the country for one reason or another. But it does happen. You'll see them on the air. I still am missing one country in Africa. I have worked all the countries in Africa but one, Libya. So the one I don't have. Still working. Still waiting for that one to show up on the air. So, for the most part, paper QSLs have been relegated to have to do when there's no other choice. Most ham radio operators now, 62,000 of them around the world now, use Logbook of the World. For those of you who have not already joined Logbook of the World, this would be an easy way to take and get your QSL cards or get your contacts confirmed. So the way it works is that you have to be a member of the ARRL. You sign on to the Logbook of the World site and request a certificate that goes with it, and you download their software to request that certificate. They send you a card with a password on it to your registered mailing address in the FCC database. And I'm speaking, of course, this is all US hams type stuff, different from foreign hams. Then you use that password to log back into the site to actually download your real certificate. Then you use the ARRL software to sign your electronic log. It's a standard log format output, and then you upload that to the ARRL. Then the software matches that with all the other logs that have been put up into the database server and automatically grants you credit for those that match up. And so you'll get your QSL confirmation being done fairly easily in this respect. Nowadays, of all the contacts that I make, probably 2/3 of them are being confirmed electronically for me. I still like the cards, and so whenever I work a new place that I've never worked before, I will still go after a card. If any of you, for those of you who've been in my shack, these cards are pinned up on the walls, on all the walls, all around the whole shack. So they're an important part of this format. Yes?
How popular is it with the non-US hams? How many are
How popular is with which hams?
non-US?
Very. Very. It is really the premier way of getting your contacts confirmed at this point. In fact, there's a special award that you can get that is only can be confirmed in the Logbook of the World. They will not accept a paper QSL. It's only electronic. Triple Play Award.
And the DX expeditions are using it as well?
Absolutely. There's a DXpedition that I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years that did not use it as well too. Now there's some other places you can go to get your do some statistical calculations and stuff like that for it, but for real confirmations, Logbook of the World is where you want to go. I still upload QSLs to eQSL, even though they're not accepted by the ARRL, and because there's no, that's what that little certificate is for. It's a PKI handshake that guarantees that you are the one that owned that log before it got sent up to the ARL. That's what it's all about, is to maintain the integrity of it for it. Questions? If you haven't already, then that's something for a future club meeting for you, is to how to get Logbook of the World set up and get done. So if you're a program chairman, that's something for you can work against. Okay. You probably can tell that my enthusiasm for this probably shows through pretty heavily. It's incredible to reach out across the world as far as with just modest equipment, modest station, and make a friend someplace else in the world. It's amazing for it. And if you haven't done it already, DXing is like getting West Nile virus. You can get over you can get over it for a while, but you're never cured. And you'll run through some phases as you go through it too, you know. So have some fun and enjoy your time on the air. And of course, that's what it's all a hobby. But there are some important things that you can do too. I'll never forget the time when I was just casual contact on the air. I was contacted by a cargo aircraft in flight over the Indian Ocean. And he passed me a message to be delivered to someone in Utah, believe it or not. And it was many years ago. Remember when the big earthquake happened in northern India, and there was hundreds of thousands of people who were out of their homes and like that? There were some relief workers from the U.S. that were over there. Well, one of those relief workers contacted a ham in India, who contacted a ham in Australia, who contacted an airline pilot, not airline, but a cargo line, cargo aircraft, who contacted me, and I called his wife up in Roy. It'll happen. You'll get those kinds of opportunities to pass important information like that. Yes?
But early on, one of the things I learned too, having a very modest station, was that a little trick sometimes is if you're trying to get an EX station and it's starting to fade in and out, look at your watch, because it'll go up and down several times usually. And most people, the first time it goes down, hit the off switch. And your competition will disappear quite seriously sometimes.
Yes, it will. You learn those kinds of tricks.
That's an easy one. All you do is watch your time.
Just watch the fades and time your transmission so that it's at the peak, so that you'll be able to hear it.
Exactly.
Like that. It's it'll happen. I do that all the time. Most of those things you'll learn without a lot of effort, but the important part is just to have some fun. I remember when I first got kind of bored making phone contacts, and if you look at my statistics, the first 2 years, 3 years that I was DXing, 99.9% of all my contacts were via single sideband voice. And then I got interested in digital communications, and so I switched over to RTTY and other digital modes. And you see that shift in my log, where now 75 to 80% of my contacts in the next years were all digital contacts. And then I ran out of things to do. I got bored. And then I found something else new to do, and that was to do CW. Although I was not what you call a stellar CW operator, I said, well, I'm going to learn this and finally figure out how to do it. Now, 99% plus of my contacts are all CW. And I still got a long ways to go before I work them all on CW. So we've got a few more years ahead of us. Yes?
Website for the Utah DX Association?
www.udxa.org. And if you need help with putting together an HF station, although you got a lot of experienced people right here in your club, but if you need some extra help with stuff like that, contact us. Join the UDXA. That's all we do, is chase this stuff around the world. We keep competitions amongst ourselves to see where we're at. I rank number 6 in the club as far as the total number of contacts. I'm not the best operator in the club by any stretch of the imagination. Daryl, he runs circles around me. I'll be the first to admit it. He's shaking his head no, and I'm going, I know better. So you guys have some fun and extend your boundaries outside of the state and learn how to be an international ambassador for it. That's all I got, guys. Anything else? Okay. Good.
Thank you, Mark.